I'm delighted to say I'm joined by the former World Championship finalist Andy Hamilton. Thanks for the time again, Andy. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thanks. Ready for this, so let's get some more info out there.
Definitely. Well, as I was saying off air just before we started, we last had you on the show around Christmas time 2018, a few weeks before your debut at the Lakeside for the 2019 BDO World Championship. Not the result you were looking for on that occasion, but how did you find the experience of playing at Lakeside in a World Championship for the first time?
Yeah, I think for me going to Lakeside, it was probably like I was a bit of an awe of it, because when I was a kid, I think everybody wanted to play a dream venue, and my dream venue was Lakeside. And obviously, when I got my PDC tour card, I thought I was never imagined I could ever play there again. So when that chance came about, probably not the right way to get it, but I ended up playing there, and I was probably in all of the places. Probably why I didn't play so well. I probably tried hard to impress.
It was only a week or so later after that you were back at Q School trying to win your tour card. Did you feel like there was enough time to get over that defeat and get ready for Q School, or were you still thinking about it a little bit?
Yeah, I think everything was still in my head. Obviously, the personal circumstances with him, they weren't clear, and also I didn't have a path forward to look forward to it at the time. So I think a lot of things were accumulating in my head, and I still probably wasn't right to try and go for my tour card, but I had to try just see if I was ready or not. And obviously, I wasn't.
So you missed out on Q School, but a quarter-final on the first weekend of the Challenge Tour in 2019, which got you to play the first two Players' Championship events that year. What was it like being back on the Pro Tour for that weekend?
Yeah, it was great. It felt a bit strange at first, because obviously you've been there, you've been one of the top ones for a long time, and to go there just through the Challenge Tour, it felt really different. But I brought myself down to, I'd lost my tour card, I got started from scratch again. I wasn't the player I tried to get back to where I should be. So it was all a process of learning again, really, for me.
The rest of 2019, you played the Challenge Tour, also the BDO circuit. We saw you in the World Trophy, and then comes the World Masters, and we're talking a year to the day when that tournament finished. I was there for the week. What was it like to play in that first day with the redraw and everything that went on that day?
Yeah, it's just a shambles. I mean, everything was it just was so disorganised. It took all my concentration away from the old tournaments. I think for a lot of players, and I think that's why I saw a lot of seeds going out on that day. It just had meeting after meeting with players, and he couldn't make a decision himself, and he's asking the players, what do you want me to do? And it shut me down to the players, and it's just a shambles of an event, and it's a shame where it is now, but at the end I think it was there because it was meant to be.
Definitely. And the start of this year you were seeded for the BDO World Championship, this time at the O2. You lost out to the eventual winner in the end, Wayne Warren. Again, more problems off the oche with the prize fund being slashed, but how much was that playing on the players' minds that week?
Yeah, I think we knew before the event was going to go ahead. I think everyone knew it wasn't going to be what we wanted, and sometimes you just got to take that knock back and just try and play darts, because you knew the funds weren't going to be there, so we just started playing for pride at the end of the day. I think that's what I did, and I played a good account of myself against Wayne, and my darts was gradually coming back then. I think I had a 95 average against him, so it proves I'm competing again.
Yeah, it definitely was. And shortly after that, you were back at Q School, and you come so close on the first day to getting that card, just losing out to Jason Lowe in the quarterfinals, 2 wins away from getting that card. I mean, the final day, you go in second on that order merit. What was it like playing that final day?
I was more relieved, and obviously I was bothered. I wasn't bothered, but I thought I'd have my tour card there, and I think I was celebrating on that last day rather than thinking about I've got to get more points. So in the end, I think the last day was probably a relaxing day for me, and I didn't know for definite I was in there, but there was very little chance of not getting my tour card.
So what were the emotions like when you got the nod to say that you'd won that tour card and you were going to be back on the PDC circuit full time again?
It was a dream back to me again. Obviously, when I lost my tour card in 2017, and I just thought, is this me now? And I just said, no, I don't want this. I want to finish my career on the PDC. So I worked really hard, and I buckled down. I tried to get all the personal stuff clear in my head, and eventually that happened, and I thought it never happened, but it just goes to show no matter what happens in life, if you strive to get something, you can get it.
Yeah, I mean, you look back on your career, you've reached a lot of heights, winning titles, getting to World Championship finals, major finals, Premier League playoffs, and then to drop off the tour like you did, and not many players come back. What's been the inspiration to keep fighting and get back to where you were?
Just because I love darts. I love darts that much, and obviously I felt like when you fall out of love with darts, it's so hard. You can't get motivated to practice, you can't motivate to play, you don't know where the confidence is going to come from when you're winning and losing. So it's just all about just trying harder and harder, and obviously when the wins come on board, they make you confident. And obviously I met a lot of friends on the BDO. That side, the players on the BDO side, there was a bit more fun there, so Joe, they made you feel welcome, and that made me get back in love with the game again.
It's fair to say it's not been the most ideal of years to come back on the tour with the virus and the 4-month break that we had during the middle of the year, and things not quite back to normal at the moment. But how have you found the last 6 or 7 months?
Yeah, it's been quite difficult. Obviously, with personal problems are all still in my head, and I've had to try to battle them with the obviously depression. So it's been hard for me, but I've got Chloe beside me, my rock, and she's kept me going. And I think just keep practicing. And obviously, it's hard to get motivated to practice, but I've done it, and it's still been tough. It's like saying, a year I've got my tour card and all this trouble, but it's the same for every player. So we just got to get on with it, and whatever's going to come is going to come. And
this past weekend, you were back on that stage in Rees for the final European Tour event of the year. You beat Stephen Bunting 6-5, a brilliant 12-darter to make it 5-all. You both start the decider really strongly as well, and you just edge it out. And you put on Twitter the last final day on European Tour event, you can't remember, June 2017, so it's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and bringing back that memory is really good for me. And also to get back there again now, and obviously now I'm at European Championships, I'm just pleased with myself. I'm just, whatever happens now is a bonus. And to get to this situation, I didn't even plan to get into European Championships, but with everything going on, it made it not easy, but there's less tournaments to qualify for a lot of people, so it just made it a little tad easier, but it's still not easy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that win against Stephen put you in that top 32 going into the final day. And in terms of qualifying for these big PDC major events, aside from the UK Open, the last few years we've seen you come through the Riley's qualifiers. Of course, this year you had your tour card, but probably the first one that you've really qualified for through the PDC since I think the Players' Championship finals end of 2016. So how proud are you to have done that?
Yeah, I'd like to say it's just like saying it's on the starting block and just another tick in the box for me starting the PDC. I'm just being realistic now on the tour again. I've got to just take small steps, and this is another small step towards getting into the World Championships and all.
Touching on your final game of the weekend, you lost out to Michael Van Gogh in a decider in the last 16. On the stage after, I don't know if you saw it, he spoke about you trying every trick in the book. Do you know what he was talking about? Because watching it didn't seem like you were doing anything untoward.
No, I didn't think I did anything untoward. I just play how I play. I've no need to go slow. That's how I played odds, and I've played Michael nearly 50 times now. To say something like that, I think he's got an issue, not enough in my game. I think just trying to pick at things, that's all. Things I just don't take notice of it anyway. It doesn't affect me any.
Fair enough. Well, it's been a long drive for you yesterday. I think over 300 miles you had to do to get to Oberhausen for the European Championship starting on Thursday afternoon. What's the plan now for the next few days before then?
Yeah, hopefully get a bit of chill time, go out and do a bit of walking, just take in a bit of the scenery, and hopefully get a chance to get a bit of practice in here ready for Thursday, and just come and enjoy it.
Excellent. Well, it's going to be a busy end to the year. You've got this coming up this weekend, the Winter Series Grand Slam qualifier, and you're hoping to get into the World Championship. How much are you looking forward to the end of this year?
Yeah, obviously it's starting slow for me the year, and I'm just building on wins now, so it's going to only get better for me, and I'm sure I'm competing well enough to earn more ranking points. So it's just about looking forward to the next games now and hoping it all comes together.
Well, Andy, it's nice to catch up with you. Congratulations on getting your tour card back at the start of this year, and wish you all the best in Oberhausen for the European Championship as well.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you very much, pal. You take care.